I am officially recording. I know there's going to be some people hopping in late. I'm hoping I can see it while I'm screen sharing too. But I guess if they miss it, they can watch the recording. So yay for technology. For those of you who don't know me, my name is Aimee Peters. And we're going to talk a little bit about coaching your hostess, which I really, truly feel is probably one of the most important parts of having a successful party. And those of you in my team are going to be blown away because I have made a PowerPoint presentation. So let me screen share real quick. If I did not figure this out correctly, someone holler at me, please. All right, does it look okay, everybody? So I get going here. You all see the PowerPoint? Awesome.
Yeah, you're good.
Yes.
Yes, killing it. Okay, so coaching your hostess, the keys to having a successful party. Congratulations, you got a host. I gotta tell you, I'm almost 2.5 years into this business, and hang on, there's more people wanting to enter, and I can see them. I still get excited when I get a yes for someone wanting to host a party. Like that to me is just love in general. And hostesses really are gifts. Like whether you're new to this business or you've been in it for a long time, you know that having a party really is the backbone of this business. This is really how we are able to expand our networks, to meet new people. They truly are gifts to our business in so many different ways. So one of the things, like, we want to treat our hostesses like they are our gifts. So one, if you're not already friends with them on social media, become friends with them. Get to know them just a little bit more. For a lot of reasons. One, like just developing that relationship with them is, sorry, I'm starting to let all these people in again, so I can't say no, is going to go far for you, not only at this party, but going forward to whether they become customers or reps as well. So really kind of making that initial connection, maybe learning a little bit about their story. Maybe there's like maybe they've been a customer of yours, but you didn't really know a whole lot about them. This is kind of that time where, hey, I'm going to kind of have a new Zaya friend as well. The second thing is to determine what's the best way to communicate with your hostess. So many people, myself included, for way too long, I'm just like, just use your instant messenger. Like that's where I talk to people on. That's where I do all of my chatting and all of my communication. But not everybody uses Messenger the way that us on Facebook regularly do. Especially maybe your 45 and up club, or even people that are more on Instagram. Like I had a party, mega party. Oh gosh, sorry, I'm still letting people in. Earlier last month, and all of the hostesses were 50 and above, and they don't want to use Messenger. That's not their thing. That's not their customers' thing. And so I did everything via text and phone calls. I chatted with those ladies all week long because that's what worked for them. And if we're not doing the things that work for them, we're really going to miss that boat in communication. And helping them have the most successful party. Second, don't assume that your hostess knows what the hostess rewards are. Let them know what it takes to get there. And one of the fun things that I really like to do before the party even starts is like, really hype it up for them, and also being like, all right, let's do something fun before this party even starts. Let's make you a wish list. Tell me all of the things you want. If you were to have a $600 party, like what would that look like? If you say your goal is $1,000 party, what would you want? Let's create that right now and just kind of have that as like our like vision board type of thing. All right, multitasking here, still letting people in. With all of the, hey, I'm going to talk about all the things to do, I want to just kind of throw it out there of some of the things like, let's not do this, because this is probably the opposite of coaching your hostess. I see this so many times, and I was definitely guilty earlier on in my business, but when you're advertising for those parties saying, it's so easy, I do all the work, you don't have to do anything. Pause, stop right there. If you're advertising like that, don't do that anymore, because truly this having a party with somebody is really a partnership. And I'm going to go more into that in just a little bit. Another do not do is, please do not assume that your hostess knows what she is doing. Even if she is in direct sales, I got to tell you, I have had other direct sales reps where I'm like, oh, this girl's got it. She is a director in XYZ company. She's totally going to know what to do, and does nothing. And I'm floored. And in my mind, I'm thinking, I shouldn't have to tell her those things. Like, she runs a business like me. She already knows those things, doesn't she? No, she has no idea. And not even if they're not in direct sales, like most hostesses don't know what their role is. So it's really, really important to lay out throughout, before that party even starts, kind of what that expectation is, who does what, all of that stuff. And I think there's a fun ways to do it without completely overwhelming your host. So I'll go into that as well in some of these next slides. And also, please, for the love, do not encourage mass invite. I don't know if this is for sure, but 2020 in general, like, we all got hit for parties from every brand out there. And so many people I would get, and you all probably have too. I probably was invited to 50 to 100 different parties from different people on my Facebook page that never once asked me if I was interested in the party that they were having or their product. And I just ignored the crap out of it. And I think more than ever, like, so many people have had that experience that this now, like, does not work. Maybe you had some success where somebody just did that. And by the luck of the draw, it ended up being a good crowd that it responded to going, and it was successful. Cool. I'm so happy you had that experience, but I'm telling you, as a whole, it is not a, hang on, there's a bunch of people. It is not a effective method, if you will. Okay. So one of the things that I really thought is important to talk about when we're talking about coaching your hostess is changing your mindset to what your role is. One of the things that really sparked my interest on coaching your hostess was actually from a rep and that I was throwing a party for via Usborne last year. So this rep was on me like white on rice, you guys. But she had such good detailed coaching for me to help me have a successful party. I was like, dang it, why don't I do this? And one of the questions that I asked her was, aren't you afraid to give too many instructions going first, as if that hostess might back out on you? And she's like, that's a really good question. I did have that fear, because that was always kind of my fear of, oh, yay, I got a host. Awesome. Don't want to scare them away now. How can I just make this as easy as possible for them? But here's the thing, making it easy as possible does not equate to successful as possible. So that's like the one thing I really want to like kind of shift your brain in is, okay, so we start to coach and we say we got that yes, and we start to coach and let them know a little bit more about what their role is going to be. If they back out, they back out, and that's okay. In my experience, that hasn't happened yet. Could it happen? Sure. Like, could it could happen. It could happen even if you don't share that expectation. That's just the reality. But one of the, I saw this training and it was really great. So the one thing that really stuck with me is trying to, adjusting our mindset and how we go into it. So you are the expert. You're the Zaya expert. You're the expert at throwing these parties. And even if you're not an expert yet because you're brand new, guess what? To your customer or your hostess, you're the expert. So even if you don't know, pretend you do. I'm a mental health therapist behind the scenes. And honestly, there's a lot of my job where I got my mental health cape on, and in that room, people trust what I'm saying because I'm the expert. Does goat yoga help cure A, B, and C? Yes, you should do goat yoga. If I say it in that room, it's legit because I'm the expert. Okay, so, and not only just from that, but I think about it from like a doctor's perspective, right? So you go into a doctor's office and they're not going to say to you like, oh, by the way, you have hypertension. Cutting salt could be a good idea if you want to. No, they're going to act like an expert. They're going to speak with confidence and saying, listen, this is what I've seen. These are the things that are effective in reducing that hypertension or whatever. I'm not in the medical field. So for those of you who are, I'm sorry, you're probably like, this girl's a moron. But you know what I'm saying? You've been in that room with that doctor. They're not wishy-washy about the instructions that they give you. They speak it with confidence and you listen as an eager student because you want the best outcome. And not only that, when you go to somebody with confidence, you feel like you are in better hands. So you're more likely to listen. So I really encourage you all when you are coaching your hostess, again, even if you're brand new and this is your very first party that you're hosting this month, act like you're that expert. This is what's going to work. This is what's going to get you the most bang for your buck. This is what's going to help you have the most successful parties. Trust me, I have seen it. Okay. All right, now that I'm done with that slide, let me admit these people. Sorry for those of you who've been in the waiting room. So one of the very first things that you're wanting to do, once you get that yes, you have a date set. Okay, say it's that party starting Sunday. The week before, I am going to be reaching out to that host and I'm going to be letting them know how excited that I am to be throwing this party for them. I'm going to set those expectations ahead of time. I'm going to ask them to make their wish list at those times. This is also when I share with them my personal video that I have created. And mine's not, some of you might have watched Erica's on, I don't remember which page she shared it on. Maybe it was the media one, maybe it was IFI, I can't remember. But Erica shared her video today or yesterday. I don't even know what day it is today. About what she says to her hostesses. A lot of the times I even just do like a selfie screen and I just kind of explain some of the same things that you're going to watch today, where it's not professional. I say a lot of I just am myself. I giggle through it. And I try to make it as painless as possible. I really like having a video of this explanation to that hostess because it's not this big, long laundry list of, hey, helpful tips, do 400 of these things. No, here's a couple of really great things that I think that you should touch on. Here's your role. This is my role. My role, guess what? I'm going to set that Facebook group up. I'm going to have that done by Thursday. Here is your shopping link. Actually, I always give them the shopping link as soon as they decide they want to be a hostess. So just in case they want to shop, or if they want to like send that link out, it's always great to get that out ahead of time. I just let them know I am the styling expert. I will help with sizing. Like you don't have to know any of that. That is all on me. If your friends have questions, shoot them my way. I will help you out. Like I got you, girl. Guess what your role is? Your role is to bring your peeps. Let's have some fun. And your job is like to bring up that excitement, because if you're not excited about it and it's very like, if you're not participating, your guests won't be excited about it. They're just looking at the stranger that is supposedly trying to sell them things. So we're going to be hand in hand. We're going to work together, and this is going to be a great time. I also go through the best ways in inviting their guests. Hands down, the best way is a personal invite. And a lot of people are initially worried about this, but I just let them know, trust me on this one. Take that 10 minutes out of your day within the next couple of days and make a list of like 20 to 40 people. For me personally, I like to go through my Facebook group or my Facebook page, and I just like to start making a list of people who might like activewear or who might like joggers or aunts and uncles. No, probably not. I don't always invite a lot of men personally, but I'm just not as well versed in the men's line, so that's just my personal preference. But whoever that might be, and then reach out to them. I can give you kind of a little clip even, or a little blip of some of the things that might be helpful, and ask them to join that party and give them the link to that event, because I'm going to already give that event link right to you. Then other helpful things. Maybe you didn't include some really important people in that list of 40 people that you came up with. Okay, so now let's do a personal post on Facebook. And I highly suggest doing it more than once, maybe sometimes even putting it in your stories. Because a lot of the times, and I go into kind of the Facebook algorithm things, and you're going to see an example of that in this video below as well. And so I just kind of, I start there. I empathize. I say, I know at first that's going to seem really overwhelming, but I promise you, this is the key to a successful party. You have been mass invited to many things before. You've ignored it. It's been annoyed, or you've been mass invited and you probably didn't even know you were invited, because there's so many times that with all of the notifications that we get, that you don't even see it. And so I'd hate that for your guests to miss out on some things that they would really love, and for you to miss out on some really awesome rewards as well. So again, I kind of explain that to them in a very fun, non-threatening way as possible. You can do this. Don't be intimidated by it. It's worth it. I promise. I also give them kind of, and not all in the same conversation, you guys, like, I break this up so that it's not like crazy, and I let them have time to read and digest some of these things. But I'm also at some point going to let them know what the timeline is. I typically run my parties if they're on Facebook, and maybe I'll change this up someday, because I think it's always good to reevaluate your parties and the ways that you're doing them. But I typically do things, Sunday to Sunday. Oh, Lordy, I missed my page. How do I go back to my page, you guys? There we go. I don't know. There's probably an easier way, and your teachers are laughing at me, but I don't know how. But I let them know what that timeline is. And I say, hey, I'm going to start kind of some of the pre-party posts this time. I'm going to start talking about certain things at this time. I'm going to do a really big mega live at this time. Really encourage people to be on at that time. And this is when I plan on kind of closing up. So I kind of give them a little bit of a timeline and what to expect from me just in the beginning. So for those of you who have not seen Erica's video, or if you're like, I really want to do a video, I'm really nervous, I'm going to show you one of my girl Lindsay's video. I love it. If you don't know Lindsay Donnellan, she is one of the leaders on my team. She's absolutely amazing. She's just herself and fun and quirky. And that's what came out in her video to her hostesses. So I wanted to share what that looks like to each of you.
Hello, I am so excited that you are going to be hosting a party in the upcoming week or so. I wanted to give you a few tips.
What the hell's going on with this, man? Like, this girl's talking and I can't hear a freaking thing. Oh, hey, my volume is turned down. Come on now.
Someone that just joined is not muted. Hang on.
Okay, first tip, ready? About 3 days or so prior to your event actually starting, you are going to take the link that I send you. I'm going to make you a Facebook group. I'm going to send you the Facebook link, okay? You are going to take that link and you are going to direct message, text, email, whatever. Your girlfriends be like, hey, I'm having a Zaya party. Here's the group. I would love if you joined. If they don't know what Zaya is, tell them why you love it. Tell them why you're hosting this party. And they will be so much more likely to be interactive and engaged and willing to try something new. Now, if you press the invite button inside the group, it is really easy to overlook that on Facebook. And if you scroll past it, or your girlfriend scrolls past it, the likelihood of that popping back up is slim to none. So I can't tell you how many people have missed out on parties because of pressing that invite button. Send them the direct link so they can put themselves in the group. Once they get in the group, make sure to tell them, be like, set your notifications, and I will send you a graphic of how to set your notifications so you don't miss anything, because Facebook algorithms are cray, like absolutely insane. So sometimes we have parties where people don't see a single thing that I post because they didn't set their notifications. Second tip, when the party actually starts, make sure that you are posting, like not just me, you too. Like you have to post a picture of yourself in your favorite pieces. Be like, today I'm wearing this outfit. This is why I love it. These light and tights are life. If you don't have them, you need to try them. Direct message Lindsay and she will help you. Make sure that on regular posts or whatever that you are commenting, that you are liking them or whatever. Make sure that you're tagging your girlfriends. Stacy, you are going to love this new hoodie that came out. Check it out. What do you think of it? But the more comments, the more likelihood of people seeing the post pop up, the more likelihood of people getting more engaged and interested and wanting to try pieces. Okay. Third tip, tell your girlfriends to message me before they order. As you know, some of our pieces are kind of wonky with sizing because we are very boutique-like. So some pieces I'm going to say go up a size, stay true to size, go down a size. I know it's weird. It's just part of boutique life. So make sure that when you talk to your friends that are part of the party, just be like, hey, before you order, just direct message Lindsay and tell her what you like so she can tell you the perfect size for you. It just helps with like no one wants to do returns or exchanges. Although they're very easy, we just want to eliminate that if at all possible. 4, at the end of the party, I am going to be talking about having your girlfriends host a party with Zaya, with me. So if I can get 3 of your girlfriends to host a party and they have a $600 party or more, I will buy you a free pair of leggings. So 3 girlfriends, 3 successful parties, you get a free pair of leggings. So those are just a few tips. Remember, any purchase that you make will go on your party link. So that will get you even more free and half off pieces. Okay. And if somebody orders and if for whatever reason it doesn't get into your party, tell them not to freak out. Just place the order and then I can always move it. And then last but not least, if you freaking loved our party and you're like, okay, I have to do this with you. This is so much fun because girl, for real, I get paid for having a ridiculous amount of fun. Like this is truly a hobby that I get paid for. You can use your Hostess rewards towards your starter kit. So if you are at all interested in that and you're like, I've never thought about being a rep. What does that actually mean? Lindsay just gets to talk to herself all day and wear Zaya and have so much fun and get paid. I need to find out more information. Talk to me and I will tell you anything you want to know. But I'm so excited for your party and yeah, talk to you soon.
And that is Lindsay in a nutshell. And I love her. Okay, so I apologize for those of you who are just hopping on. It's right towards the end, so you might have to watch the recording, but so those are just kind of the pre-party things that we talked about. I also really like if you're doing a mega party, and I don't want to make this whole chat about mega parties, for me is like a godsend and a lifesaver, and it's pretty much the only thing I like to do anymore. A lot of people tell me like they're really intimidated by it. I'm telling you guys, I literally don't do really anything that different than a normal party. I really only change it up by like my initial post where I have a picture of each hostess and I ask whose team they're on, and I run it really the same. But with that, I put all of the hostesses in the same chat. It's really, really neat then, because then I'm not repeating myself 100 times because I'm trying to juggle 4 different parties that week. I just do it in one spot. A lot of the times they have fun and intermingle. And that hostess doesn't feel like, oh, like she's just talking to me, like, oh, all of us are in this together. So if my hostess, or if I throughout the week, I'm like, okay, girls, you're doing a great job. Today, I challenge you to post a picture of yourself in a light and tight and say why you love it. They're all going to try to step up to that challenge. A lot of the times in there as well, I have kind of a little competition between them. And obviously those are things that you can do specific to your business. As you saw in Lindsay's video, she talked about, hey, you know, I kind of have this little referral bonus. If 3 people from your party book a party off of this and they are successful, I'm going to give you a pair of leggings. And those are things that you can decide how, if you want to do that as well. But throughout the party, continue to check in with them. I also read a stat and I watched training actually from a different company where they said, hey, check in with your hostess 1 to 2 times a day. Make them feel connected. Keep them involved. Like they shouldn't be guessing where they are in party sales or who ordered what or anything like that. So I don't give them all of the tips right up front because again, I want to set those expectations first. I want to get them excited. I want them to get their friends excited. It's the first thing that I focus on. Then as it's starting, I start to throw tips in there. Hey, great job. I'm always cheering them on because you want people to feel like they're doing a good job, even if they kind of suck. I remember somebody telling me once, you always got to polish the turd. Just helps, positive reinforcement. But let them know, give them a tip one day. Hey, tip from your friendly Zaya rep, like tag 2 people today. Here's a tip today, like share a picture of yourself. Maybe you even tell them that one ahead of time so that they're preparing for that one in their mind that, hey, try to take some pictures of yourself. Your friends are gonna want to see you in this, I promise you. Have them hype up any lives. For me, also on top of mega parties, I really just try to do one night of lives where it's just like an hour of sales with me. And I ask the hostesses, hey, hype that night up, like private message people, ask them if they can come. Tag your friends in the outfits. If you see a bra and you're like, that is totally something Sally would wear, tag Sally, let her know like yeah, you're thinking of her. So these are just things that I just touch base with throughout the party, not a long laundry list of to-dos because they won't do that. They might pick 1 or 2. I also ask them and encourage them to personally message their friends, and not throughout the entire party where they're messaging them nonstop and they're even annoying, but maybe 1 or 2 times. One, maybe just a personal one, thanking them, like, oh, I didn't even think that person would say yes. Well, thank them. Just let them know, like, I hope you like it. Let them know that if they have any questions that you'd be happy to connect them with me, or styling questions. Hey, Amy's really great at coming up with pieces to pair together, or she would know how to fit your body style, or she would know what would be really, really great for CrossFit, whatever that might be. And I also, as my party's ending, I always tell my hostesses, reach out to each person that said yes to your party and just again, thank them and remind them when that party is ending. So if I'm ending that party on Sunday night, I tell my hostesses by Friday saying, hey, just a really, really great thing that's not like annoying or spammy, thank them, and then just let them know if they're interested in ordering that you're just reminding them that party ends on Sunday. That for me is always that like last kicker of people being, oh yeah, I totally wanted to order. It's just been a crazy week. So definitely do that. I also, and a lot of you probably do this as well, but this is a nice touch to keep hostesses involved. With every order, I do not do the thank yous. I make a graphic of what that person had ordered, and then I send it to my hostess and I tell them to write a thank you. Because then right after that, I can comment so people also see it. So that's already a little bit more of a popular post to thank them as well, and just make some kind of comment on how I love whatever piece they picked out. So I think that's what I have for you guys today. I think so often in this business and what I see for people, and I have a lot of people being like, hey, I've had a lot of bomb parties lately. Like, can you attend one of mine and just see what I'm doing wrong? And we spend so much time looking for the perfect graphics and, finding the perfect, should I do a 3-day party? Should I do a 5-day party? Should I do a 7-day? Should I do a 1 night, or should I do Zoom? I don't know those answers. I have no idea. I think it's always based on like the host and whatnot. But the most important thing that you can really dedicate your time to is this one right here. My last mega party, you guys, it was like, if my reps were watching, some of them were just to see like how I do things. It looked like a dead zone, but it was a $5,000 party because my hostesses were behind the scene getting it done. And that was awesome. And they loved it too, because they got to chat with their friends a little bit more. They obviously got a crap ton of free and half off stuff. And honestly, it's way less work on you. So I would say if you're going to spend the most, like, don't worry so much about all of the logistics of the party. This, in my opinion, is the most important part. So, okay, I'm done ranting. I think I got it all. Paigey girl, you got some questions for me?
Nothing until like now. Michelle asked, do you do a questionnaire for the hostess to see if they want a theme or anything specific?
Ooh, I haven't, but that would be really fun. I don't see why not, especially if you're fun and creative that way. That's great.
I am not creative. Everyone's just saying thank you. Lauren asked, does anyone have a mega party they can add me to? I'm doing my first one next week. So maybe we can start a thread
Yeah.
on the team page.
Yep. Yeah, absolutely.
Okay. When do you start posting into the party? All throughout the day or after a certain time?
I think this kind of goes back into some of the logistics pieces too. I have heard, I am not the expert in this, that there's like 3 main times. So I try to post really early, like at lunchtime and then in the evening. I find that my early mornings and my evenings typically get the most interaction. So that's kind of what I do. And again, I try not, for me personally, party wise, and I know the topic's not necessarily like how to have a successful party. You can do your best to come up with the best posts in the world, but most people don't see them. So for me, I would rather put more of my energy into coaching that host to get them to me. Just talk to me. Just please come talk to me. I promise I'll find you some really great stuff. Or doing it during a live, honestly. And I think some people really like those lives to be able to go through and talk about products.
How do you find hostesses for mega parties, or is that all you offer?
That's a good question too. So I have actually, I'm newer to mega parties. I just started doing them, I think, in November. And I just try to sell them just because I like them and they're easier. And this is how I sell them. I just I typically ask, would you like to do a mega party or run this one solo? And so everyone's first question is, what's a mega party? I'm like, oh, a mega party is really great because it's multiple hostesses. I do bigger giveaways. The excitement's it's just up there because you're having guests from a bunch of different hostesses. And it's a lot of fun. The energy is a lot of fun. This is also a really good sell for the people who say, I don't know if I know enough people. I don't want to waste your time. So for those people who've ever given me that excuse, that's the first thing I say, hey, you know what? One, I always let people know how it's never a waste of time, that it's always worth being able to have the chance to network with somebody. However, it's actually a really fun style. Like, hey, you won't be the only one doing this. There's going to be a lot of other hosts in there. Like, I really think you'd like this. Again, that confidence piece, even in getting the hostess, is key.
Agree. Kara asked, do you find it beneficial to do one dump of all things Zaya or pick a day per category? I teeter-totter with this too. I have like pros and cons for both.
What does a dump mean? I don't know what that means.
Like in one day, you share everything Zaya has to offer: leggings, tanks, bras, joggers, men's, kids, everything. Or do you
spread it out? This is hard too. And I have switched it up and I've tried to find the secret formula of what's the best. I have done like the 24-hour party and have had hostesses just go back and say, like, look at it. I'm still doing stuff a little old school. I still do the 7-day, honestly, just partially because I feel like no one sees it the very first day anyway. But I don't know. I think in general, we're going to have to start looking at additional ways to do parties other than just Facebook. But I'm still doing it that way. And I do today's leggings, tomorrow's joggers.
I do the 7-day thing too. You're not alone. Can you send the PowerPoint out or will you post it somewhere? Such great info. Thank you.
Oh, sure. Glad you guys like my PowerPoint. It's only the
second
one I've done since college.
How many posts do you do each day doing a 7-day party?
I don't know that there's a magic. I try not to go overboard. I would say anywhere between 3 and 5. But I always try to end my post with questions that allow engagement instead of trying to bombard with a sales pitch.
Totally. Need better host coaching graphics. The ones in Zyrefire/OnFire are blurry. Do you have any good ones? Do we have an album in the new group that we could share them to?
That's a good idea. And it might even just be worth like us coming up with some new ones. But again, I don't think that big laundry list of here's what to do is helpful. I really think just being personable, sharing your voice, maybe creating a video, like that is helpful. I do know a lot of people do like hostess bingos and things like that. And sometimes that's really helpful too. I haven't done a hostess bingo in a while, but sometimes it's just because I'm lazy and I don't want to keep track of it.
That's me. Oh wait, what was I gonna say? It'll come back to me. Oh, like if you do a video, I wonder if you could like summarize it with like 4 bullet points or whatever. You know how Lindsay was like 1, 2.
Yeah,
Like
that's a
if
good
you
idea.
bullet
Like,
point it and like put it in the like send that as well. Just so it's
Yeah.
not like a whole paragraph.
Totally agree. Yeah. Yeah.
You said you do bigger giveaways for mega parties. What kind of giveaway?
Sometimes it's like what I have on stock. Like I'm known to shop the Kate Spade clearance a lot or the outlet. Sometimes it's a pair of leggings. Sometimes it's, and I do a lot of, if you're on the live, this is where a lot of my giveaways are. So it really encourages people to like be there and be present. Or just for joining my like VIP group, I might do, you'll be in a chance for a free bomber, because getting people into my VIP group through this hostess party is for me probably more beneficial than that initial order even.
I pitch it as, hey, want to do a mega party? That just means 1 party, 2 hosts. That's less pressure on you and more engagement between guests. That's what I started doing.
Yeah. Yeah. And I've had anywhere between 3 and 5 hosts typically in a mega party. I know some people do like Battle of the Hostess if you just want to do 2, where you can just kind of make it kind of like a fun where they're in a competition and the guests even know that. That would be one I would definitely ask the hostesses if they would be interested in doing, because those competitive personalities are going to say, heck yeah, that's awesome. If you're not super competitive, like for me, that would be terrifying. If someone's like, hey, do you want to compete? I'd be like, oh, hell no. But there's people that love them.
I feel like my parties start to die off around day 5. Maybe break the hostess prep graphics into 3 or 4 graphics to send over a couple of days.
Yeah, potentially. I don't disagree. I think that's a theme in the longer parties, is that in the beginning you have pretty big involvement and then you kind of taper, and gotta love those.
I just like to have a full weekend because some people are so busy during the week. And if I start on a Sunday or Monday,
yeah,
they're busy with work, with kids, with, you know, everything else. And then the weekend they're like, okay, I can finally chill.
totally
That's
agree.
why I keep the 7-day thing.
So I don't split the rewards with multiple hostesses. I give them all their own links.
Yeah. I think that's the last question.
Cool. Well, awesome, guys. Well, thanks so much for taking the time to listen to this training. For those of you who are watching the replay, you know, for me, and Erica preaches this all the time, like, it is so important to invest in personal developments and training. And I'm going to be honest, I did not do that early on in my business, and I could kick myself because so often we just get in like this tunnel vision of hustle. I got to do. And this is the kind of stuff that even if you don't do everything exactly like I do, it's going to get that wheel spinning, and some new ideas and new creative ideas for yourself to really help expand your business. So I hope you all found it helpful. And if you come up with some additional tips or things that work for you, always feel free to shoot them with the group, because I don't know it all. Still learning with you all. So anyway, have a great night, guys.
Thank you.
Welcome.